Hello and welcome back to another OmniHeroes video. This is a small reminder that you have around 3 days, or exactly 3 days left until reset, which means that Rift Odyssey will not be, Rift Odyssey will reset. You can go into World Arena. World Arena will be reset, and then all of the new stuff in the update will, hey up all of the stuff in the update will in fact be applied. So this is Thursday so it's October 17th, which is next Thursday. So in 2 days' time, from 10 o'clock up until October 18th. So the Friday at 2 a.m. UTC. That is when the update will happen, and then from 2 a.m. we will get we'll get all of the goods. So all of the new content that's going to come out for season 6. Very excited about it, in fact. But for now, we don't have altogether too much to do. So I'm just going to go through a couple of Lost City. I could push on Chaotic 16, probably should, but again, it's all exactly the same team lineup for each different one. It's like Cleo, Dahlia, and then a spread of the others, or the actual units required, making sure that you hit all the synergies. Again, it's very boring. There's not really much diversity in gameplay. At the end, you could run through it with good teams, and it still wouldn't allow us to get through. So it is what it is. I'll probably do a couple of sweeps later on, but for now I'm going to do chapters 320. We're just going to go ahead and build a couple of teams. If you want to see how to sweep these super efficiently, I've done that in a previous video. Effectively, you would quick battle, and you would build a Dawnbringers team. So as you can see here, we've got a Dawnbringers team. So you've got 3 Dawnbringers here. Click save, and then you go ahead and start, and then you go all the way through, however many you need, to get up to your Oracle amount, or the required Oracle amount, and then yeah, that's about it. But for now, we're just going to go through a couple of different Dawnbringer teams, and just see say Dawnbringer. We're going to go through a couple of different faction synergies here, and just show off the different teams that you can run through here. Now, in my opinion, best Dawnbringers team would include these two, and I suspect Atropos as well. Now, if you do want to go full Ethereals, you can also use Portia. So Portia is a Dawnbringer and also a Monarch, so works very well with Dorabella. So you can use these 3, and then a couple of others on the Ethereal lineup as well, probably Karnak and Eudora to fit the bill. But for now, I think we're just going to go with Atrops. We will go with Karnak, and we'll go with Eudora as well, just because they are staples within this. We don't have many other synergies activated. We have 2 protectors, but that's about it. We want to go with Chaos Orb. For me, this is the best starting relic, as in slot 1 relic for the Ethereal team currently. Hopefully that will change next season, so hopefully we'll get a slot 1 Ethereal relic, which will do a much better job than all of the others. I mean, you can run in your slot 1, you can run your Leviathan here, but it increases reflect rate and increases relic energy and stuns as well. So for me, it's not great. I don't enjoy having Leviathan. It's just so slow compared to the other stuff that's out at the moment. Now, you can go with Hammer if you want, so the Warhammer there, but I do tend to prefer Excalibur. For me, it's just very consistent and can stun up to 5 enemies, and then the Demon Blade Whip as well. That, for me, is the best Ethereal's relic that there is. Even though you would primarily run that Demon Blade Whip in a Doom's team, if you are trying to build a proper Ethereal's team, the Demon Blade Whip is the one to go for. You can also run Hand of Tyr, but again, you just don't get the same synergy effect. So, is what it is. Now, as you can see here, we did hit a lot of the enemies, and we did stun 3 of them. 3 out of 5 were stunned. We had 2 chances to do that. Unfortunate, Atrops didn't kick off there. Otherwise, our shields would have gone through the roof. But it is what it is. So, Demon Blade kicks off. We do get an increase in max HP. It is kind of required for the survivability of your Ethereal's team. Because of that damage share, inherently, I think the Ethereals have a bad synergy. Do I think that the Ethereals have bad units? No, absolutely not. I think the Ethereals have fantastic units. My issue with them is, so as you can see, Katrina, she's about to get a buff as well. So Katrina about to get a buff. Macaria about to get a buff. And, you know, I think the fact that they're refreshing some of these older units, I think is a really good thing. Unfortunately, no executions because our enemies weren't low enough. Like, if Karnak was... if Eudora went first, then Karnak would have executed. Unfortunately, I don't have the skin, so it is what it is. But we do get in under 6 rounds, and we also get with 5 survivors as well. So that's Dawnbringers. Let's jump into Verdians here. Let's build ourselves a Verdians team. Now, the 3 best Verdians for me would be these 3. Right here, Lillian, Leah, Nawi, and Lee. So let's build around them. Let's get a Monarch in there for Lily and Leah, and Lee as well. So we have 3 Monarchs. We also need a Striker. So you can go with Seraphina, or you can go with Gloria as well. But in this instance, I'm going to go with 4 Monarchs. And the reason for that is because Monarchs get really good around when you've got 4. Yeah, that's 4 of them. Instead of, yep, we want you, and we want you. When you've got 4 Monarchs over the 3, because you start to get the increase in damage based off lost HP. So the lower your Monarch's health, the more damage they're going to do. So for me, that is the best way. Now we do have the Verdian synergy, which triggers very well with Lily and Leah. Every time a Verdian synergy is triggered like that, the entire team get a defense increase up to 15 stacks, I believe, of defense. So you want that Verdian trigger triggering up to 15 times to get the max defense boost there as well. So as you can see, we're starting to take less and less damage now, with thanks to the Monarch synergy, and with thanks to the Verdian synergy as well, able to increase our defense quite effectively. Now you see hindrance here, so every time an enemy, so there you go, Boji down there, he had the hindrance trigger go off. What that is for your celestial exclusive runes. Now you want that hindrance to go off as much as you possibly can, and the way to trigger it, I believe, is you need to purify the enemy, and I think Lily and Leah do that on action, as well as when your one of your celestials dies, or when one of your team dies and you've got the celestial synergy activated, that hindrance will trigger. It'll stop enemies from having buffs applied to them. See how it's not applied anymore? Boji's now able to gain that reflect rate stack. That for me is very powerful. And there we go, perfect. So I think at this point we should be good to go. Fortunately, Audrey there able to survive for just long enough to build up enough attack so that the shields can kick in properly as well. And then Lee here, he has been building up attack and defense since the battle began. Every time he is attacked, he will build up attack up to 1000%, and he will also, if you have his exclusive runes, build up attack and defense. And if you have full red runes, he will build up attack, defense, and HP, effectively becoming unstoppable. Really, really powerful unit. So there we go. Survivors with HP 60% or more, and our 3 Verdians there as well. Next one is Shadow Arc. So let me just jump in, and I will build a powerful Shadow Arcs team. Now, the team that I used to run, let me just go ahead and show that off. That would have been Solomon. It would have been Persephone and Mavis. These three paired with Janna and Sal, or with Sal and Atropos, got me through a lot of the early content. So something like this, this team here, absolutely fantastic. The reason that I don't put Solomon in the front is because I do want Persephone to activate Fortitude on both Sal and Atrops. Mavis, with her passive skill, will increase the number of Fortitude effects granted by Persephone's skill here as well. So we'll go ahead and try this. I'm not too sure if this will win. We'll put in our protection and more protection as well. Let's jump in with this Shadow Arcs team. We need to win in under 6 rounds. We do have our 3 Shadow Arcs in Solomon, Mavis and Persephone. And we also have 3 strikers on the team in the form of Atrops, Sal, and Solomon as well. So we get our shield here, which should hopefully protect us from any incoming damage for long enough for our units to start popping off properly. So there we go, attack increase, strikers synergy, it'll increase by 30% HP, 30% overall attack every single round, which will start to do massive damage. So Sal here, the way his runes work is the more he heals, as in actual healing, not overhealing. So if Sal is at full HP and he heals, that won't increase his attack. What will increase his attack, if you have his exclusive runes, is if he has lost health and then gains it back. That is where he gains that 20% increase in attack. So pairing him with the Blades of Chaos, so the relic that just triggered and gave us our Holy Shields, that for me is not a good combo, because you want Sal to lose health and heal it back up. And there we go, Mavis to go down, start to pump up Sal as well. So just in case you don't know, Sal got a buff a couple of months ago where every time a unit died, he will increase the attack power of his ultimate and also of his active skill as well. So for me, absolutely fantastic. And there we go. So the Fortitude skill, as you can see, Atrops is on basically 0 HP here. We do need to finish the enemies in this round, so hopefully we'll be able to do that with our team here. So we get some healing, we get Solomon down, and there we go. So I think this is a win. Yep, 6 rounds. Yeah, perfect. There we go. Only just, but it was a win. So you can win in quite high difficulty content with Mavis, Solomon, Persephone, Selene, and Atrops as well. I know I used the spear. You can also use healing vase in that section as well. But yeah, for me, it's not the optimal build for this team. You would probably go with, in Shadow Arcs, you would probably go with, where have you gone? Halissa and Sandra as well, and you get 3 Monarchs, 3 Shadow Arcs. So for me, that's a fantastic build, and then you could also probably add in Atrops to get the additional damage that you need to push things through. So we'll go ahead and build a Protectors team next. I have been running a Mystifiers / Valianters Protectors team. So let's jump in here, and I'll show you what I mean. So Hades here, and Leandra. And then what I've been doing is putting Lancelot, Bastet, another unit that's going to get a buff after, and then Mulan as well. So we pop Mulan on the back with Hades and Leandra. The reason that I do it in this order is because Leandra is going to start to apply burn from round 1 to all enemies. I will go with Underworld Key. Really falling in love with this relic. Really like it. The fact that you gain the 100 relic energy so you can cast your bow much quicker, it just speeds up your entire game, and it makes it much more competitive than, say, the Death Scythe. Death Scythe, very powerful, really powerful weapon or relic, but it's just a bit slow. If I'm honest, it's just a bit slow. So as you can see, Leandra to apply the burn with thanks to Mulan here. and Hades to steal an enemy unit. He will steal an enemy unit every 2 rounds, gaining their stats buff, and then after, every 4 rounds. If you have his full red runes, you will start to steal. If you have half red runes, it's 3 rounds, and if you have full red runes, it is 2 rounds as well. So really, really powerful stuff. Now, the reason that I like this particular setup is because you will do passive damage through the corrode and through the burn, but also you will then, Leandra will also start to execute enemies as well. So if she does big enough damage here, unfortunately not, but if she were to do big enough damage there, we would see her execute all of these enemies. Now, fortunately, able to keep that Holy Shield stack. And there we go. So that's the corrode damage kicking in for this team in particular. I do really enjoy this team. I've really started to enjoy it this season. We've got Survivors with 60% HP and Protectors synergy there. So as you can see, Leandra to do the most, and then a bit of corrode as well. And those are the healths for the enemies as well. Nowhere near what we used to face him, but you know, it is what it is. So I'm going to finish off with Celestials and Deviants, and let's have a bit of fun. What I'm going to do is just build the most meta team that I can, and that is Dooms. Having, where have you gone? Dahlia and Cleo, and then Halissa, believe it or not, Merlin and Ophelia. Now, the reason that I go for this is because you get the 3 Monarchs, you have 5 Dooms, you have 3 Royals, 2 Celestials. You do have only 1 Deviant, but the whole point of this team is to build up Halissa and Dahlia as much as you possibly can. So we will go with, in this case, we want Leviathan because it does increase reflect rate by 20%, or gain 20% reflect rate for 3 rounds when it is cast. You can go with Gord. Gord is very powerful if you have it at 3 stars. If you don't have it at 3 stars, then it's just a swap mechanic, and it really should only be used for Wukong. Dahlia wants to stay on the same row as Cleo as often as possible, so we're going to go with Hammer. In this case, you can also go with the shields if you are struggling, so shield here, and then finally Demon Blade Whip. Now, the other setup that you can run is the Claw. You can run the Whirling Blade, and you can run the Demon Blade Whip as well. This is perfectly fine. I've won many sort of supremacy level PvP matches against very tough opponents with this team, with this exact setup. So yeah, get these up as quickly as you can. And in fact, let's go ahead and just show off as to why I think that these are very viable. Now, the Claw will trigger. This effectively will remove Holy Shield. If enemies do have 1 stack of Holy Shield, it removes the Holy Shield. Now, we do gain an increase in our attack as well every time HP is increased, and that's thanks to Ophelia. And every time Sanctuary is applied, we permanently increase HP as well. So we just want that Sanctuary applied as often as possible. For that, again, you can use the shield, the Glorian Doom's shield. Very powerful effect. But here we go. This is going to be massive damage. Yeah, just one-shots the entire enemy team. Unfortunately, Phantom synergy kicking in here. But again, I don't foresee this too much. The reason that I go for the Whirling Blade as well is because it also increases our reflect rate. So if enemies were to attack here and now, I suspect if Sylvan attacks, she's going to die very quickly. Yeah, so there we go. It does reflect back. And unfortunately, damage for the lower tier relics, it's not great, but it does the job. It gets rid of that Holy Shield right away and gives you an advantage in sort of a mirror matchup where the enemy might be using a slower relic as well. So that's 6 stages of floor 320. So just want to say thanks very much for watching. If you do like this content, please subscribe. And if you can, because I'm trying to get up to 1,000 subscribers, so I'll start earning some passive income from this as well. So please do hit that subscribe button and leave a like if you do enjoy the content. Thanks very much for watching. You have a great day.